Welcome back to Market Call Recap on the Early Buffett YouTube channel. As I always mention, I'm not a financial advisor, I'm not a broker or a CMT, so please do your own due diligence before making any investment decisions. These are just my general observations and educational content I put out for newer traders. So if you like that type of thing, please follow along. Today we had Robert Gill, who had CGI, BCE, and Nutrien as his top picks. But what are we looking at? The broader market pretty flat today on the S&P. We're kind of flat on the day, looking like we're taking a breather from this rally. Although tech stocks are a little bit up today, although Nasdaq is flat. So, market's taking a breather. Totally fine. We have the summer lower volume, and the Dow slightly up. Dow's having a nice little uptrend here. So, looking good since April, looking strong on the Dow, but also, kind of flat on the year. So what else is going on? We had Alimentation, Couche report earnings yesterday, and they had their earnings call today. They had a CEO change, and that knocked the stock down. If you look at the one day, the intraday chart, it just got hammered right in the morning, and it just got really, really bought up. You had a lot of buyers coming in here to bid this thing back up. So I think we're down close to around 5%, at this point, and the $75 level really held. So now we're only down about 3%. But if you look further along, I've looked at this chart before, and you could see it's just steady as she goes all the way up. And you could see that area of support at that 75 level right here, right? And it's holding strong. So, we bounced off of it October 2023, eventually went through it that following month, bounced off it in December, hit a high of, $87 in Feb. And then, it's got knocked down, had some bad earnings, going through a little bit of a new accumulation period here. And then, we'll probably meander here for a little bit longer, and then we'll probably continue on our merry way, because, all the longer term moving averages are still upward sloping. So good sign. Things are looking good, but that's not what we're here to talk about. We had CGI was Robert Gill's top pick. Once again, mentioned AI, which everyone's doing these days, but they are in that space, right? They're in IT, and naturally that kind of coincides with AI. So, what am I seeing here on the chart? I mean, we have probably an area of support here. Call it 134-ish, looking good. That's been for a little over a year now. That 134 is kind of held. So looking pretty good. So I would see this as a trading range right here. I mean, this big outlier move, right, to 160 here got knocked down. But we're back into this range here, which we've been in since April 2023. So probably expect more of the same in that regard. But they're in a good space. They're, IT consulting, obviously going to be needed with this new technical, AI revolution we're in right now. So I would see that, call it 134 holding, and we have a range up to around 140, 140, 145, you could call it. Pretty good trading range there. Next, we had a contrarian play for BCE, which, if you follow BCE, it's just gotten hammered for the past couple of years now. Lots of competition in the space, a lot of regulation, roadblocks, all that stuff. So it's tough for them, but I don't know if I'd call this a double bottom formation here at the 44 and a half level. Could very well be, but yeah, I hold some. I bought some of this dip. I bought it, earlier on before it dipped even more. So, but I like the yield. I see it's, being mission critical infrastructure for Canada. Like Robert Gill mentioned, after your food and water and shelter, we need our internet, right? And Bell has a very, very large network here. But now they have to also share their fiber with their competitors, which is, kind of a bummer for them. But it is what it is in the regulation game. So is this thing going to hold? I mean, if we look on slightly longer term, we're below COVID lows. So this thing's getting hammered. Is there any more room to go to the downside? I mean, who knows? I mean, we're pretty far back now. Pretty far back at like 2013 levels almost. So I can see it as a contrarian play. It pays a nice dividend as you wait. You're getting like over 9%, which is kind of wild. So we'll see how this goes, but it could be bottoming here. Could be a new accumulation area that's going on here, but who is to know? We can't tell the future, right? So last but not least, Nutrien. I also hold this one. I like it. I like it for the long term. Also mission critical. We all need to eat. They do fertilizer, so not much else to say, but it's very, very cyclical. I believe seasonally they start to get strong later in the summer, but we're not sure what's going to happen here. Maybe a slight head and shoulders pattern going on. And I think seasonally, they start to do well later in the summer, August, September, I believe. So probably have some more upside to go here. There's probably a base around that 65 level. And if we get over this, call it 70, if we get decisively over and maybe over these moving averages, we would be, off to the races as well, hopefully. So keep an eye on that. But right now it's tough. You could pick it up, small position, maybe wait for it to dip even lower, pick up a little more. It's really hard to say with this name, but I'm holding it for the long term, which is, until it at least gets up above its averages and, hopefully maybe above this 82, call it 80, should be a nice level to start of, get out of this range and kind of keep on going. Or it could keep going lower, who knows as well. I mean, you could draw the trend lines if you want. It's steep, and it's kind of, if you go back to this shorter term trend line, it's broken over that, right? I'll just, for the sake of time here, I want to keep this concise, but it'd bounce off that, that was back in March. So it's strong, but it keeps getting hit down. So hard to say where it's going to go from here. Is it going to continue meandering until the seasonal period begins for them? Who knows? But it is what it is. So if you like this type of content, please be sure to like, subscribe, all that good stuff. And until next time, I will see you tomorrow.